Highlight contributions. Show how your study builds on existing literature. Highlighting contributions. Showing how your study builds on existing literature. Chapter 2 of a thesis, the Review of Related Literature, RRL, is more than just a summary of past studies. It serves as the foundation for demonstrating how the current research contributes to the field. One of the key objectives of this chapter is to highlight the gaps, limitations, and contributions of previous research while establishing how your study builds upon and advances existing knowledge. This section will discuss the importance of highlighting contributions, strategies for effectively showcasing your study's relevance, methods for identifying research gaps, and best practices for integrating your study within the broader academic conversation. Why highlighting contributions is important in any academic research. It is essential to position the study within the existing body of knowledge. Simply listing previous studies without demonstrating their relevance to your research weakens the significance of your work. By effectively highlighting contributions, you can justify the need for your research. Show how your study fills a critical gap. Establish your study's novelty. Demonstrate what is new or different about your research. Strengthen theoretical foundations. Connect your study to established theories and expand upon them. Enhance credibility. Show that your research is grounded in existing knowledge. Rather than just repeating what others have done, your research should build upon prior findings to offer new insights or practical applications. Strategies. For demonstrating how your study builds on existing literature to effectively highlight contributions, follow these structured strategies. A. Identify and address research gaps. One of the strongest ways to demonstrate your study's relevance is to pinpoint areas where previous research is lacking or incomplete. Look for gaps such as unexplored variables. Are there factors that past studies did not examine? Outdated findings. Have recent developments changed past conclusions? Contradictory results. Do existing studies present conflicting evidence? Limited scope. Have studies only focused on a specific population or region? Example, if previous research on online learning has mainly focused on college students, but your study examines high school students, you are addressing a research gap related to age groups. How to highlight this in writing? While several studies, Smith, 2020, Lee, 2021, have examined the effectiveness of online learning among university students, limited research has explored its impact on high school learners. This study aims to fill this gap by analyzing how digital education tools affect student engagement in secondary education. By clearly identifying what is missing in previous research, you justify why your study is necessary. B. Expand on existing theories and concepts. Another approach is to extend or refine established theories. If a theoretical framework has been widely used, but lacks real-world application or needs modification, your research can offer a fresh perspective. Example: if Super's career development theory has mostly been applied to Western contexts, and you apply it to Filipino students, your study contributes by testing the theory in a different cultural setting. How to highlight this in writing? For Super's 1957 career development theory has been extensively studied in Western societies, but its applicability in Asian educational systems remains underexplored. This study examines how Filipino students' career decisions align with Super's model, contributing to a culturally adaptive understanding of career development. By expanding a theory's application, you make a valuable contribution to the academic discussion. C. Introduce a new perspective or approach. Sometimes, your research may contribute by offering a new methodology, framework, or analytical approach that has not been previously considered. Example: if past studies on leadership styles in schools used qualitative interviews, but you introduce a quantitative statistical analysis, your study offers a fresh methodological approach. How to highlight this in writing? Previous studies on school leadership, Garcia 2019, Tan 2020, have primarily relied on qualitative interviews. This research employs a quantitative approach, utilizing statistical models to measure leadership effectiveness, providing a data-driven perspective. This demonstrates that your study is not just repeating past research, but adding new insights through a different approach. Methods for identifying and structuring your contributions to ensure that your study's contributions are clearly communicated. Follow these methods. A. Compare and contrast past studies. Create a literature synthesis matrix that categorizes studies based on variables such as research focus methodology findings. Limitations. By organizing literature in this way, you can easily identify gaps and highlight how your study fills them. B. Use subheadings to emphasize contributions. Instead of burying key contributions in long paragraphs, use subheadings to clearly outline how your research builds upon existing literature. Example: 1. Addressing gaps in digital learning research. 3.2. Expanding the application of constructivist theory. 3.3. Introducing a data-driven approach to student engagement using subheadings guides the reader and strengthens your argument. Best practices for highlighting contributions. Be specific. Clearly define what your research adds to the field. Use strong academic language. Avoid vague statements like, "This study is important." Instead say, "This research provides empirical evidence on." Integrate contributions. Throughout Chapter 2, don't wait until the conclusion. Highlight how your study builds on existing knowledge throughout the literature review. Avoid overstating contributions. Be realistic about what your study achieves. Instead of claiming, "This research completely changes the field," say, "This study offers new insights into." 5. Conclusion. Making your research stand out. Chapter 2 is not just a summary of past research. It is your opportunity to establish how your study contributes to the existing body of knowledge. By identifying research gaps, expanding existing theories, introducing new perspectives, using structured comparisons, you effectively demonstrate the significance of your study. Highlighting contributions adds value to your research and ensures it is seen as a meaningful addition to the academic community. If you find this content helpful, subscribe to stay updated on the next tips for writing Chapter 2. Feel free to comment below with topics you'd like us to cover in future content. Thank you.